Hey everybody, Quinn Redeker, PoliceMotorTraining.com. Today I'm going to ask you to try something you may not have done in the past. Right now you probably use 4 fingers for the clutch. And here it is, we got 4 fingers on the clutch. We're modulating really good, we have a big heavy bike. This is what we do, this is what they teach in motor school. I'm going to ask you to use 3 fingers in a way that you haven't done before. And essentially this is a technique that I came to over the course of time in doing a lot of competitions and rapid transitions with the motorcycle. And I'm going to show you the downside to 4 fingers and how we are going to use 3 fingers and why it matters. So first, follow me here. I'm riding my motorcycle, okay? I've got 4 fingers on the clutch. Imagine I'm in a cone pattern and I'm doing rapid transitions, okay? Locking bars left and right and back and forth, okay? Well, if you know police motor style riding, one of the things you know is the friction zone is very, very critical, and just even a millimeter of movement can change the amount of power that we have to the rear wheel, the hum we're getting from the RPMs of the motor, all those things. Over time, as I started using the bars fast back and forth, when I was using 4 fingers, inadvertently, however slight, I am effectively pulling on the clutch when I'm slamming my bars. So I don't know if you can catch this, but all I'm doing is trying to move the bars. I'm not trying to pull the clutch with my fingers, but what I'm doing is my hand is locked. I've got my friction zone, but by pulling, however slight, I'm affecting the travel of the lever in relation to the handlebar. So you may not notice that you're doing this, but I promise you, if you're doing rapid transitions back and forth, you are inadvertently affecting the engagement point of that friction zone with your clutch when you're rapid transitioning back and forth. In a straight line, no. And if you don't do this where you're slamming lock to lock, then don't worry about it and keep doing what you're doing. But what I submit is when you're slamming the bars around, you're worried about your friction zone, you're worried about your throttle, your positioning, your head turn, your counterbalance. You have a lot going on, going from this side to that side and back and forth, so you probably don't realize it, and you're feeling like this is pretty challenging and difficult. Well, I think you're going to find that if you pay attention to this when you're doing this, you're going to go, you know what, maybe I am sometimes, however slight, affecting that clutch. Yes, you want to do press, 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 I get it, okay? That's how we turn the bars. We counter steer by pressing. But when you're doing this that fast, it can get difficult to maintain a steady press, and inadvertently you'll be pressing and pulling just a little bit. So here's where 3 fingers works. What I do is I have 3 fingers on the clutch. Well, the reason I have 3 fingers on is because my pinky and my thumb are holding onto the handlebar, okay? They are locking onto the bar. So see, if you look, now I can pull and push with my hand, versus 4 fingers, I have nothing to hold on to pull on the handlebar, okay? So now that I have this as a brace to pull on, now when I use 3 fingers and I'm throwing the bars back and forth, now when I pull on the bars, if you notice, the travel between the lever and the bar does not change. It's locked, versus that. Now it's moving, now it's not, because this is locking me in position on my hand, so that when I set up that gray area and I have it right where I want it, no matter how hard I'm slamming these bars back and forth, I hit a bump, anything happens, the lever does not move in relation to the handlebar position. My friction zone stays nice and consistent and smooth. So what it's going to require you to do is make some adjustments to your lever potentially. In other words, it requires, for me anyways, in order to get your pinky and also have your lever in a position where you can wrap that and hold it nice and tight, that friction zone needs to be pretty close toward the handlebar. If it's way out here, you can do it, but it's better if the lever's a little bit further in, a little closer. So I have an adjuster here. Also, if you're a modern BMW rider, there's a 9 Torx in here to make an adjustment. Hit me up if you want to learn how to do that. I've made a lot of adjustments for a lot of motor officers about that. So effectively what happens is, instead of the friction zone kind of being out here, which BMW's stock setup, it's kind of far out, mine is now in, and you can adjust that in addition to just adjusting the lever position. If you have a Harley or another bike that's maybe it's not initially adjustable, I would recommend you get a lever that's infinitely adjustable as far as its position in the mechanism here, so that you can put the lever where you want it, where it's comfortable. But try this. It'll make a big difference. You may not realize this is something that you're doing. Maybe you got other issues you need to work on, but this is one of those things that will stabilize the motorcycle's power to the rear wheel while you're going through a lot of lock bar movements and lean positions back and forth. Okay, give that a shot. It's going to be important when I teach you guys some other stuff to work on. This needs to be sort of set and forget. Okay, all right. Any issues with that, just let me know. Have a great day.